If you're watching this video, you have decided you would like to update your Rapido Burlington Northern commuter units. Well, in this video, I will take you through step by step of adding the third marker light, which was a later addition to these in the 80s. It is included in the box inside the poly bag. You see that little thing right here? That's your marker light. And we'll walk you through the steps of drilling into the shell to do this. This might sound intimidating, but it's not too hard. We are going to start by removing the shell of the locomotive. This is very similar to an Athearn Blue Box shell removal, and no screws are needed to be undone. Have some fingers on the fuel tank, some on the shell. Gently pry apart, and your shell comes off with ease. The shell is completely wireless. This is achieved by a pin pad system Rapido does. These 3 pin pads contact on the board to the pads here. Thus, the lighting for the beacon and the cab, there are no wires run to the shell. Upon removal of the shell, we have placed it onto a foam cradle to prevent any damage to the delicate details on it. We're going to direct our attention towards the shell right here, this hole. This is your drill starting point under the headlight. This is where we're going to take our number 47 drill bit, approximate size, and drill the third marker light out from the inside out. To make this easier, you're going to want to remove the cab floor. I've not tried it with the cab floor on, but I feel it would be a lot difficult, if at all possible. I'm not sure. So, you gently take your fingers, pry the shell apart. Take a little wiggle room. One clip's undone. It works with the window clips on here. So, we got it off. See right there? Look at that. Here's your cab. Look at that detail in here. That's pretty nice. Good time to add an engineer figure if you'd like as well. While it would be easier to remove the light board, I'm going to recommend that you do not, due to these really tiny wires back here for the prime beacon circuit. If moved and stuff, they could get damaged very easily. We're just going to work around these pins as carefully as you can, not trying to hit them with the pin vise. If you're so inclined, you could remove them. There's 2 tiny Phillips head screws, but it would be very difficult and fragile to safely maneuver this off to the side. So therefore, I do not recommend it. The pin vise is in the shell. You're going to want to take great care to not rub the pin vise when spinning against these pins if possible. Here is the drill bit in the hole. You want to keep this as level as you can without touching said pins. And it's time to go to work. We've stopped about halfway through and you can see how far indented the hole is. You can see that the guide is doing an excellent job keeping the drill bit to where it's supposed to be at. Remember, it's going to take a little bit of time. You only have a limited range of movement with the pin vise inside this shell, so just take your time on this. Remember, you want to work slowly with this. You don't want to work fast. Slow and steady wins the race with this. And there it goes. Just like that, we have a hole drilled. I went ahead and got a slightly bigger drill bit. When I got the detail part out to test it, it wasn't quite fitting, so I used a slightly bigger bit. I do not know the size of this. Unfortunately, it's not organized like it should be in my toolbox. But definitely test fit with your marker light on the, if I can show it on camera, definitely test fit this with the, you see the back of it right there. Test fit that with the hole right there to get the proper size. You don't want it too snug, but you also don't want it loose at all. It's better to have too snug than loose. Some people like to use canopy glue. I personally really like microcrystal clear. It's easy to clean up. It doesn't dry instantly, unlike super glue, so you actually get more time to work with it. This is what we'll be using today to secure the marker light into the hole. This is my preferred glue, like I said. This is also used for making clear windows and lenses and other stuff, so it's a very useful product. I absolutely recommend it. So I like to use the cap as a reservoir. I will tip this over for a few seconds, let it run into here. Get a nice controllable bead you can get right on the toothpick. You don't need too much. Just gently run it around the rim in there. This stuff dries absolutely clear and comes off easy if you make a mistake. Unlike super glue, you could ruin the model. See, we've got a nice even layer in there. Let's get that marker light on now. We've got the marker light detail. You can use tweezers and stuff. I like to just use my hands. Make sure you have the, let's see if it will focus on it. There is a certain way this is supposed to go on. You can see it works with the body lines. The bottom's gonna have your, what do you call it? Your lip at the bottom, where the top's gonna be more rounded. And I'll show this closer later. I know it's hard to see right now. We're just gonna take this in the correct orientation. Fit it right in the hole. Might be a little snug, you just gotta work your way into it. A little bit of pressure. And she's on, and with the crystal clear you are able to have time to mess with it if it's not on 100% straight. So we're gonna bring this up closer to me, adjust it a little bit, and get this so it's flush, and I will do that off camera. I press fitted this on off camera and got it straightened out. You can see what I mean by the top and the bottom with the body lines, how it kind of hugs this. And that squared off piece should be on the bottom above the door, where the rounded should be under the headlight. Here is a dead on angle of the light. You can see how this fits in here and how the bottom is more squared off than the top, which is rounded. Now what we're going to do next is I'm going to add a drop of translucent red paint to this, because these were red marker lights and this detail part is clear. This will greatly improve the look of this. This is made by Tamiya. It is X27. In my opinion, this is the best translucent paint on the market. It's not cloudy, it's absolutely clear. Some of you watched the video where I did a look at these locomotives. We painted the beacon in the video, which was clear, with X26 clear orange. Some people have had success with using Sharpies. However, this is definitely the preferred method, and it's really great product. Can't say enough good things about the Tamiya clear paint line. These are also available in greens, blues, and clears, so there's a variety depending on what you want to make. I've made lenses with police cars and classification and marker lights. I've tinted them with this stuff before. Just absolutely great product. Most local hobby shops should carry this, and it's a very nice and easy to open jar. You don't need much, just a very small amount. Just enough to coat the lens, and look at that nice red color. This dries very quickly, but avoid handling it for probably an hour or two. While the shell is off, if you're modernizing it with a marker light, chances are you're going to want to modernize it with the correct HEP details. This is correct for the original as rebuild. However, it's very simple on switching them out. You simply take the shell. I just put my finger underneath it, one on top. It just pops out easy, just like that. And now you have a swappable HEP hole, which I will show off. I get this camera to focus a little better. There we go. The little exhaust port actually goes forward. You think it'd go reverse, but it goes forward. Just line it up correctly. Kind of started in there. Remember, don't put too much force on stuff. You don't want to damage anything. And clicked right in place. Just like that, we have converted the engine from as rebuilt to modernizing with the marker and HEP details. Little bonus on the HEP for this video. So we held the shells off and the chassis on the layout. You can see the lighting is kind of interesting. We have a BN3 model, which is the later executive one, which was done up from the factory from Rapido with the third marker light. I also painted that red as well. This model features the red light, which so does the commuter units. However, being on the commuter units, you don't see this until you drill this out. So the red light is there, and you can see when I turn the headlight on, it dims out along with the side marker and classification lights, which do have the ability to turn white, which I showed off in my overview video of these locomotives. Here's something a little peculiar to me. The BN3 model features a light tube to better push the light right out on the third marker light that the commuter units do not have. This makes it difficult to see the light through the third marker light that we added on the commuter units. I'm not sure why these didn't both include them. I have contacted Rapido a few weeks ago and I've yet to hear back from them. I'm going to try to reach out to them again. Hopefully we can order some because these really do make a difference having these. I will show the exploded parts diagram to show off what part it is, and I am hoping that they have some more in stock that I can order as spare parts, as I've inquired with them. So let's show the parts diagram. We have the parts diagram included in the box, and you can see part number 93 is the light tube that is supposed to be under on this one, but is not included, but it's included on the BN3 model. Look how much brighter that is. This is just plastic, angled. You can't tell as much. I suppose fiber optics could be added if I don't hear back from Rapido to make it more visible. We have the shells on. You see that third marker light come on that we added. You can see it's slightly brighter on here with that light tube, so it'd be nice to add that to this model as well. Really neat detail, and like I said, these are user control dimmable. There was someone on some of the pages, I don't know the CVs offhand, that have dimmed these out because these were extremely dim. These were added due to visibility issues later on. These just were not that bright, and they wanted something so they could be seen safer, as these always operate in push-pull operation. Let's turn off the lights and check out how this looks with the lights off. Here's with the lights out, you can really see the third marker light detail. These were added, like I said, due to visibility aspects with the side marker lights not being significantly bright enough. So these were added later on. This will absolutely be necessary if you plan to model post 70s of these rebuild commuter locomotives. Hopefully this video helped some of you out. I know it's a little nerve-wracking to drill through the shell of a $300 model, but following these steps in this video and taking your time, you too can have an updated Burlington Northern E-unit. And it's really nice Rapido included these detail parts in the box, like the HEP unit detail and the third marker light detail to better update these units. Thank you for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to Burlington Northern Modeler for more Burlington Northern model content and the occasional video of a train going by or whatnot when I'm out and about.